Have you ever done inner child work? I'm just starting to do it, and it's really interesting. And it's raising a lot of questions. So I've invited back my friend Lorena Garfey, an authenticity coach who does inner child work. She's coming on today to talk about some more about it. And here she is. Hello, Lorena. Welcome to Lattes with Lisa. It is Tuesday, June 9th, and we're diving into more inner child stuff today. Okay, Lorena, I am going to send you an invite to join. There. Hopefully that worked. I sent that invite to you. Yay!
Yay! How
Yay!
are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've been looking forward to this. Your Facebook post about, it was so cute, the one about your little you and your husband's little him, and then your picture together. And it really got me thinking about inner child work and when we become aware of that, how that affects relationships.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I'm really curious about diving into this because I'm pretty sure a lot of the problems that my husband and I have had have been my inner child fighting with his inner child.
Yes,
And
for
when you
a
see
lot
it
of
that way,
us. Can you hear me okay?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
awesome,
I
awesome.
can. I want to dive in. I want to do my land acknowledgement first, and then I want to dive in and see what you have to say about this because I want to learn more about this aspect
Yes.
of inner child work. All right. I pause to acknowledge that I live, work, learn, and play on the traditional territories of the Treaty 7 nations in southern Alberta. This includes the Tsuut'ina Nation, the Blackfoot Confederacy, which includes the Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani nations, the Iahi Nakota nations, which include the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley nations. I also acknowledge the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3, whose presence continues to shape this land. I honor the deep histories, resilience, and wisdom of the Indigenous people who have lived, healed, and held space on these lands for generations. This land carries stories of pain and strength. May our conversations be rooted in respect, truth, and the possibility of collective healing. Now, for a friendly reminder, this space is all about sharing, learning, and healing together. I'm an ACEs educator. I am not a licensed therapist. I know my boundaries and I stay within them. I am passionate about mental health and trauma recovery, and I love to create safe, brave spaces for conversations and peer support. Everything shared here is for educational and informational purposes only. If you're struggling or need personal guidance, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional because you deserve care that is tailored for you. However, we do have a professional in the room, and here she is, life coach Lorena Garvey.
With a lot of personal thoughts and opinions as well. Okay, so
Cheers. Let's go.
yes, yes. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you guys for being there, and Leah and Spencer. Talk about beautiful, safe spaces. I live for that. I'm about to create one myself, so then we can all meet in all these different beautiful spaces because this is when we get to connect and to realize that there is nothing wrong with us. We are all in the same boat. We're just doing the work. We're doing what we came to this world to do, and when we do it together, it just becomes easier. And we get to see the purpose, and we do it with intention. So, thank you for holding this space again, Lisa. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about anything that you're curious about. As you know, I'm super passionate about inner child healing, and I started as an authenticity coach. And of course, authenticity is just, being true to yourself, being who you are before all the conditioning, all the stories that we carry. And when I started doing the inner child work, I realized that that's it. Your inner child is your authentic self, is the original essence of your soul. So just being able to put everything together is becoming something super strong, very strong for me. And I thank you so much for giving me the space to talk to people about that so they can learn, because seriously, this is simple once we get it, and it just takes such a huge load out of us. and all those negative beliefs that we have about ourselves, the situation, circumstances, and others. So yes, I'm super excited. So please fire away.
As a person who, when I was a child, there was no safe space for me.
Mm,
There was no safe place for me. Not home, not church, not particularly not home, particularly not church, and not the school bus, not school, not just, there was no safe place for me where I felt fully safe, fully myself,
mhm,
fully free, unless I could remove myself physically, go down and play in the creek by myself. I could
mhm,
go outside, be alone with my dog. I
mhm.
could go to the barn and find the kittens and hang out with them and do all those kinds of things. But my safety was found in solitaire. I don't, it's not isolating, but just being alone.
Yeah, being in solitude, and this is
Solitude. That's the word I needed. That's the word I
solitude.
was looking for.
Yes, because sometimes we're like, oh, I'm a loner. No, you enjoy solitude, and solitude is,
Yeah.
listen, not a lot of people enjoy solitude. When you are in solitude, you have to face you and who you
Yes.
are. And for a lot of people, it's better the noise, it's better the distraction, it's better a group setting than being with yourself. But that is beautiful,
Yeah.
actually, that you
Yeah.
found peace within yourself. So I can identify with that because I used to play by myself. I used to have an invisible friend. I always talk about Andreu, and I just had a blast with him. And yeah, that was my lifeline when I
Yeah.
needed to. But at that time, it was more of an escape, right?
Precisely. Precisely.
So it's like you're connected, but disconnected because, yes, I'm connected with myself. But
Yeah.
reality is
Yeah.
that we live in community and everything that we learn, we are and we grow in relationships. So that's
Mhm.
why we're here to learn. How can I be in a relationship and still be myself? How can I keep me even when it's not convenient or it's uncomfortable for others or even for
Yes.
myself? And that's where the work begins. And
Yes.
and yeah, an inner child, our inner child carries all the conditioning from when we're kids, right? Because we hardly
Yes.
remember a lot of things. Most of the downloads, I call it downloads, right? Everything that we learn through our parents, church, friends, those bullies at school, coaches, TV, whatever it is, it gets downloaded at a very early age, and our mind is such a fertile ground for that, and it takes everything. So at that age, everything that we see and is told to us by someone that is an authority is Bible for us, right? Is something that is an absolute truth. So anything bad that happened is certainly not others or other circumstances, is our fault.
Yeah.
Everything is happening because of me. And we keep going like that, right? And we create all these different personas, like the overachiever, the people pleaser, the perfectionist, all of these things that now we kind of punish ourselves for being that. I'm such a this, such a that. But all those parts we create, they had the intention of protecting us from being
Yes.
vulnerable, from being
Yeah.
hurt. So if I say yes to everything, everybody likes me. So guess what? I start doing that, and it works fantastic when you're a kid. And
Mhm.
yes, I will. Whatever they tell me, I do. I say yes to everything. Yes, I hug my uncomfortable uncle that it does not feel good, but if I do that, everyone is happy. I stay small because when I'm loud, I'm just putting on a penitence, whatever. They used to to lock me in the bathroom. Imagine that.
What?
Um, One day I didn't want to go to preschool. I mean, what was I, 5? And my grandmother kept me in the bathroom the whole time that I was supposed to be at school. Oh my goodness. I still remember, like, exactly.
Oh
The
my word.
coldness of the floor, the freaking like aqua blue tiles in the bathroom. Oh gosh.
Wow.
Yes, 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 yes. So
That is
ah,
wild.
that's why, right? So we create all these little personas to protect us, and yeah, fantastic. Oh wow. So at least now I feel loved, I feel safe, I belong, but not really, because that is not you.
Yeah.
The you that you are stays there in the corner, right? So then
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
keep running that, that story in our mind, and we continue our life like that into school, into our relationships, into our marriage, into parenthood, and that's how it is
Yeah.
until something happens. Like I work with a lot of women in midlife, right? So it's a lot of women, they wake up and they realize this in midlife. It can also happen through tragedy or big changes like moving or things like that. But when it happens in midlife, it's like, what is happening right now? Why am I so miserable? What, like, shall I
Mm.
stay with my husband? Like, is this even working? Like, I have no friends. I don't even want to live in this body anymore. Who am I if I am not? In midlife, you stop, your kids go away to college and you're not like, as pretty, as society is supposed to do. It's like almost as a woman, your worth goes like down the toilet. So everything that you make your identity now is just like you're naked and you're like, what do I do now? So that's when we start thinking about uh, why do I feel like that? Where does this feeling come from? When did I felt this way before? Like, who did I have to become? Who did I become? Like, why? Like, and who am I really? That is the work. And inner child healing is almost like a not a fast track, because it's the best track, because it's the
Mhm.
magic track, it's the compassion, the empathy track. So I'm really happy to share this, because I think that uh, definitely, when you are with a professional, things get really clear and you can just personalize your growth. But there are also little things that you can learn as a lifeline in the moment when things happen. So you just don't lose it and actually, create situations that they are worse than they should be, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. Absolutely. I am I am really interested in this concept of in my marriage, little Lisa, my husband's name is Steve, and
Mhm.
little Steve, um, just sometimes they don't always get along. And there's just, and I'm wondering, I don't even know if I can put words to this to make it make sense, Lorena.
It's
If
okay.
that sense of, if that sometimes there's a sense of tension, sometimes there's a sense of unease. Not a lot. We're great. We just had our 39th anniversary. There's a lot that we're doing right.
Congrats.
We intend to have several more,
Mm.
but we have had our difficulties. We have had our times in, of course you do, in 39 years with one person. Of course you're going to have conflict. Of course there's going to be rough spots. There are times when little Steve misbehaved and caused trouble for us. And there are times that little Lisa behaved and caused trouble for us. And when I think about that, I can't, I'm not going to put words or situations or concepts into my husband's story, because that's his story, is his to tell.
Yeah.
But I feel like little Lisa has always been looking for a place to belong, a place to be welcomed, noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, but then I really struggle with, I don't want to do things just for the sake of attention.
Mhm.
Is there a difference between attention seeking and seeking healthy attention?
I mean, it's really like relevant to each like story or situation. But if you need to change who you are to get attention, that is not like a real thing. That comes like not from an authentic space.
Mm-hmm.
But you might be seeking attention because you didn't have your attention. You didn't get attention when you were little, right? So
Yeah.
then now every time, like in your relationships, that you feel someone is not paying attention to you, it triggers something in you,
Mhm.
and the feeling is a lot bigger than what it's supposed to do. You react like that's how you know that is your inner child being like, what about me? Like, why you're not paying attention to me right now, right? So
Yeah.
when you see yourself, because I know what you're talking about, because I am in situations that I'm like, oh my god, I'm just acting like a child, because I am acting like the child that I am and I'm carrying here, and the
Mhm.
wounds that she carries, they're still open because I didn't take the time when I get triggered to be, where does this come from? How
Mhm.
old I am when I'm having this feeling. Why can't I just be like, hey, listen, I noticed that I did something cute and you didn't notice, but maybe you were distracted. What do you think about the thing that there's so many ways, right? Because, well,
Mhm.
first of all, we know that men and women are so different. So you can certainly not expect your husband to read your mind,
Mhm.
because that's what in NLP what we say is like we all have our different map of the world. So your reality is the same thing happening, but he has a story and you have a story, and it's all based on our conditioning.
Yes.
So it's like, so I used to be like, I will never do that. How can anyone think like that? Because anyone can think whatever they are thinking
Yeah.
according to their own map of the world, you know?
Yes.
So when we realize that we see the same reality but through different lenses, then we can be compassionate, and communication is key. Communication with that other person, but most importantly, communication with ourselves, with questioning, with stopping,
Mhm.
not just going with the conditioning that was downloaded like ages ago, but be like, where is this coming from? When was the first time I felt this way? So this voice that is like nobody pays
Mhm.
attention to you. Is it my voice or is my mother's voice? Is it my father's
Mhm.
voice? Is
Good
it my
point.
priest's voice? Like, it doesn't really sound like me, right?
Mhm.
So I think that just with awareness, a little bit of knowledge, and the compassion to know that we are all a little kid inside,
Mhm.
we can keep our relationships healthy, because it's our responsibility to ask for what we need to heal. One thing that I do that helped me a lot, like for example, sometimes I'm just in a mood that is hurtful, like it's hurtful to me and to my husband, and so I disclose that. I'm like, listen, just so you know, I'm not feeling like myself at this very moment. So if I tell you something that's hurtful, or
Mhm.
if I'm like avoiding you, like, just know that it's not about you.
Mhm.
All I
It's
need
so
from
helpful.
you, yeah, because it's like, what can I do? I'm like, nothing. All I need from you is just to let me go through this. Because the people that love us want to help us, want to fix it. I don't want when my
Yeah.
husband doesn't feel good, I do anything. I'm just cooking you pasta with meatballs. What can I do for you to feel better? But the most important thing is to allow ourselves to feel, to feel all the feelings that we've been like patching up, that we've been hiding, that we don't want to feel, that we're scared, because you got to feel it to heal it,
Yeah.
and then you process it. So just by saying to your partner, just just give me the space, just be loving, even if I'm treating you like in an unfair way, just just give me a pass right now.
Yeah.
It's going to go
Yeah.
away. I promise it's not about you, it's about me. Because what we spill out to people a lot of times is what we have. Like, I always talk about, if you have a cup of coffee and someone push you, you're going to spill coffee. If you have tea, you're going to spill tea. So if my
Mhm.
husband trigger, what's going to come out of me is what's inside me,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so just that awareness is so helpful. and yes, and compassion. So when you feel that way to your husband, just question yourself, where else in my life I don't feel seen, right? Because we're talking about attention.
Yeah.
Where else is my life? Like, is this a pattern? Because our beliefs are just things that we keep repeating through our life, and they
Yes.
just become solidified there. But the thing that that NLP also teach us, which I'm so happy that I found this modality because I have a lot more language now to express all this, is that if you learn something, you can just put something else there. You can unlearn. You can learn something different. So don't despair. You're like, oh my God, I am this, I am that. No, you are not that. You're going through that.
Yes.
You are feeling that way. You are acting this way because you are like I am, right? That's what
Yeah.
God, the universe, elephants, whatever it is that you believe in. You are. You're perfect. You're a wave on the ocean. You're a ray from the sun. You are that. Then those are the things that they kind of darken our light, are the things that we create out of fear. Like Marianne Williamson said, right? There is two emotions.
Mm,
There is fear and there is love.
yeah.
And they both have a good intention, you know?
That's true. That's true. The
Yeah.
core intention behind both of those things are protective tendencies,
Yeah.
protective factors. Yeah.
Yeah.
This goes both ways too. When I see it happening in my husband, when he's struggling with stuff, he wants to keep it to himself. He doesn't want to bother anybody with it, right? I doesn't want to burden me. Because I'm really quick to share stuff I'm going through. Like he knows everything that's happening. He's like, you don't need my stuff too. So he kind of keeps it to himself. I'm like, no, that's like this is supposed to be a give and take back and forth kind of situation. But I see the signs. And I am trying to get better at pausing and asking those questions. Just pause, take a breath, get curious, ask those questions. Is this attack? Because this might be holding hands with something for little Lisa.
Yes.
It might be bringing up those felt senses of insecurity and lack of worth and things like that. I also have to pause and take a breath and remember that when he's going through that, that's not mine to fix,
No.
because that leads me back into codependent territory.
Yeah.
And that's I know that I have codependent tendencies. I was raised in it. That was the way I thought I was here to fix everyone and make everything nice for everyone else. And I thought that was what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And that's actually codependence, isn't it? And it's
Yeah.
actually very, very unhealthy.
Yeah. But you see it now. So that's
So I
already
have to give him his
dissolving.
space to feel his feelings and to go through what he's
Yeah.
going through. When he's ready to come out of his cave and talk about it, he
Yeah.
will. But in the meantime, don't take it personally and don't think it's my job to fix it.
Don't make it your own. Yes, it's exactly what you say. It goes both ways. Whenever
Yeah.
there is a challenge, most of the time, he has something to learn and you have something to learn. That you
Hmm.
have to learn that it's not your fault that he's feeling like that. It's not your responsibility to be the fixer,
Yeah.
right? So that's something, where does that come from? You just said it.
Yeah.
You were that person
Yeah.
when you were growing up, because if you weren't that person, probably everything was a poopy show, right? Like everything
Mhm.
was out of control.
Yeah.
So that's still you. But you see that when we name our behavior, our feeling, our belief, it loses power.
Hmm.
And talking about it in safe spaces, that's just the best medicine.
Absolutely.
And then your
Absolutely.
husband, who knows, right? Because he might not even know where that comes from, right? Like sometimes my husband, and I can tell, like he can tell me nothing is wrong. And I know because I'm very connected with my energy. And I know all of us, you, everyone that's in this chat
Yeah.
for sure, can feel that. So all I will say is like, listen, I know you say you're okay and everything. It's like, I know that your energy is a little off. So I'm not going to bother you, but I just want you to know that if you need anything, I'm here, you
Yeah.
know? And something that helps me a lot in my relationship too is like, let's say he tells me a problem that he's going through at work. And the first reaction for me is like, I can fix that, right? That will probably be you as well.
Yeah.
But I don't do that anymore. I'm like, so are you telling me this because you want me to tell you my point of view, to tell you
Mhm.
what I will do, or you just want me to listen? And most of the time, they just want you to listen.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
come up with their own thing. You know, he might repeat himself
Yeah.
a couple of times, whatever it is. But I'm like, okay. So he would be like, I don't know about it. Oh, you know what? That's it. I'm going to do that. I didn't say anything. I just stood there. I had no idea what he was talking about, especially if he was talking about work, but he figured it out. And I helped
Beautiful.
just by standing there, right? So
Yeah.
that is huge because when we start having opinions, then
Mm,
no.
yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
This happened very recently with a friend of mine who sent me this long message and shared with me, stuff that she's struggling with right now, and wanted me to think about it and offer her feedback, like maybe the next day. And I was thinking about it, and I thought,
Um,
okay, I think I know what I'm going to say. I think I know how I'm going to respond to this, and I'm going to give her some good, encouraging feedback to remind her that she can trust herself. She knows how to make good decisions, and whatever decision she makes, it's going to be the right decision. There are no wrong choices here. They're all right choices. Before I even had the chance to do that, she sent me another long message. Just being able to talk about it and process it out helped her come to the conclusions that she needed to come to, and she was
yeah.
banging.
Yeah.
She just
It's
needed the
incredible.
space. She asked for my advice, but she didn't really need it. She just needed the space to be held.
Yeah. She wanted
And
to be
that's
seen and heard, just
beautiful.
like all of us. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Most of the time it happens like that. And this is why I feel like now, like what we do, like coaching is very powerful because coaching is not about giving advice. It's about like, realizing that we all have all the answers within us, and a lot more important than the answers are the questions, right?
Oh, yes. Richard is here if he's still in the room. He taught me this. He
Yes.
was he came on to Lattes with Lisa, and we were talking about parenting from an ACEs perspective. And he said asking the answer doesn't matter. Whatever the question is, the answer doesn't matter as much as it matters to just ask the question.
Yeah.
Richard, I've hung on to that. I've never lost that. That informs the kind of peer supporter I am now. And that really helped me. The important thing is asking the question.
Yeah. And a lot of us, uh, we're listening to someone and we care, like we really care, but we're almost listening to people's challenges and struggles. And as they're telling us the story, we are thinking about what our response is going to be. So
Mhm.
we are literally making it about us. And this is not a conscious thing. This is just something that it just happens to a lot of us. But
Mhm.
when we are right here in this moment, just listening, and instead of going, this is huge, these two words, replacing judgment with curiosity. Every
Mhm.
time you feel like something is about to judge someone, and I know something, it just happens to everyone. I mean, I don't know if to everyone, but certainly it happens to me that sometimes I'm like, something is defaulting to judgment. I'm like, hmm.
Mhm.
How about I change it for curiosity? What could be happening in this person
Yeah.
that's this way, right?
Yeah.
Or why am I having this awful feeling about this? Is she doing something that I wish I was doing? Is she doing something that I do that I don't
Mhm.
like that I'm like, because when we're judging, we're making it about us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
Ah,
that replacement for sure. As soon as you're about to say something, just just change to curiosity and open up and open your ears, your eyes, your heart, and ask questions, real questions,
Mhm.
you know, and that will help people a lot more than answers, and
It really
opinions.
does. It really does. My daughter challenges me to do that too.
Mm.
We're out for coffee or breakfast or something, and she just wants to connect time.
Mm.
And she'll say, "Ask me a question." And I think, what if I ask? And then the overthinking immediately begins. What if I can't ask a good question? What if I
Yeah.
can't think of a good question? What if I ask the wrong question? What if? Oh my word! I'm working on it. I'm working on taking the breath and saying, "That's a great idea," and just allow whatever comes to come. Allow whatever
Yes.
question comes up to come up. And it
Yes.
doesn't have to be earth shattering. It doesn't have to be life changing. It's okay to just ask questions. But as a child, it was so drilled into me to shut up and to stop asking questions
Yeah.
that I literally have to work really, really hard to think of good questions, to learn how to ask good questions, to stay engaged, to not, which is hilarious that I've chosen to do this as an interviewer who literally asks questions and I still
Yeah.
have so much trouble with it. I find that kind of strangely hilarious, but the questioning is so important. And these are great
Yes.
questions that you're giving us today. I love that. I'm going to pick up a couple of comments.
Yes.
Um, Leah says, hello, we love you too. And Leah says, we're never alone in nature. That is so true. That is so true. Love that. Love that. Um, Leah said, oh, when you were talking about being locked in, I don't know what these, do you guys see this too? I don't know why
Wow.
these
Yeah. And me?
effects are happening. Wow, that really distracted me there for a second. Oh, well, it is what it is. That's interesting. I have no idea how that happened.
That's very magic. That's your inner
I
child. Those are fireworks from your inner child.
That's really funny. I was scrolling, maybe I touched something. I scrolled something on the screen
Mm.
to look at the comments. It's going to be really distracting if that keeps going. Oh well, I'll try to ignore it. Leah said she was talking about when you referencing when you told the story about your grandmother locking you in the bathroom. Such a big punishment for such a little child. You were 5 years old. Oh my word.
Yeah.
I uh Shocking and
Yeah.
a little
It's
bit
just,
horrifying.
I think that that's just who knows what her mother did to her or her grandmother did to her, because I do hear horrible stories.
Hmm.
So it's just really, we carry all the conditioning from generation to generation. And our generation, all this group of women that were here holding spaces and just seeing and listening to people with no judgment, we're here to break that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am My kids are not going to carry any of that, because I certainly make mistakes. I had even made mistakes. I'm 51, so my daughter is 19 years old, so I grew a lot. I mean, I have done and said things that I would never say them right now, but for me, like honesty and forgiveness. So, like, I will tell my kids, oh my God, remember when I got so pissed off when you did your eyebrows that day and I started screaming like a crazy person? I'm like, I'm sorry. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I will never do that. Like, that was something that I thought it was bad. I'm just saying, like, whatever example, right? But just we need to heal that, especially for mothers. I start
Yes.
I start reading this book, which is called Mother Wound. I think it's called Mother Wound.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it just came out, I think, but I was just fascinated by that. How mothers and daughters need to heal that, and it's okay with just
Mhm.
saying the thing.
Yes.
Like just taking responsibility for the things that they might have been hurtful, and just say where they came from, so then they don't have to carry that it was my fault, I was too loud, I bothered my mother, she couldn't work for all these years because she had all these children, like no,
Yeah.
no, we need to get all that out, so then they go on with life and the next generation is free of that, or freer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Spencer says, right now watching gamer YouTube videos with my nephew while we drink coffee because I try to remind myself his childhood is right now and this is what he needs right now.
No.
That's
Yeah.
that's brilliant, Spencer. You are breaking cycle after cycle after cycle, particularly with how you interact with your nephew, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
That
That's
is so beautiful.
incredible.
And Spencer, like just the fact, I know that you are helping a lot your nephew, but your nephew is helping you a lot because just hanging out with children, they
Yeah.
it just enlightens you, you know, it's just their innocence is just wisdom for us. We had forgotten so many basics in life. And when you are around kids, you are just like, oh, I want to be more like that. I just want to color that. I just bought a tablecloth that you can color. I
Oh,
mean,
we had one of those for my daughter's birthday party one year, and it was a blast.
I cannot wait to get it here and start doing that. I'm going to put it every day and I'm just going to start coloring. I'm like, that's fantastic. Why I don't do more of this? This is
Ah,
free. But
yeah.
creativity is the language of your inner child. So if you want to connect
Yes.
with your inner child, you need to do the things that she or he likes, right? And
Yeah.
she likes to paint. So I'm excited. I'm going to send you a picture when I get my
That's
tablecloth.
amazing. Spencer also says verbal processing for the chaos brain is the best. Yeah. People I can do
Yes.
this with that doesn't take it personally heals me. Absolutely. Absolutely, Spencer. Drummond says, I got told on a date once that I didn't ask a single question about the other person. That changed me that day. Oh my goodness, I've been that person too. Yep.
Yes.
I've been that person too. I don't know why these sparkles are happening. This is
I wish
absolutely
I could
wild, and
help
I
you.
don't know how to turn it off. It's going to be so weird. Oh well.
Maybe you guys know, maybe Lisa, no, Lisa, maybe Leah knows or
Yeah,
Spencer,
I
one
don't
of
know.
them.
I don't know. Here we are. It's a little weird to see me all shiny and shooting rainbows, but hey,
Yeah.
happy
It's an
super
inner child
uncomfortable work.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
happy super
after all.
uncomfortable month to all the people who don't like rainbows. So I love rainbows personally. So
Who doesn't like rainbows? Come on. I was,
amazing.
did you know that the Inca, I was just in Peru and which I loved. That was such a bucket list thing that I wanted to do.
Yes, you were just in Peru.
It was so beautiful. I mean, talk about going back to nature. So many stories about that. But anyway, so the flag of the Incas was a rainbow flag, right?
Really?
So there's the rainbow flag everywhere. And I was like, wow, look at the rainbow flag everywhere. They go, you know, that is the flag, Incas flag.
That's really
Incas,
cool.
I really hope, I know it's a tribe. I think it was the Incas, but it's definitely the flag of one of the tribes. I think it's Incas, but I don't want to say something stupid just so they don't come after me. But um, but how beautiful that is, right? How beautiful
Amazing.
yes, nature, and it's all about going back. I think that we are going back to basics a little bit, just being there, seeing how like people their medicine, everything comes from nature, from connecting with the sounds, with the earth, with the smells. They let flowers grow wild. They don't change the flower space because they grew there because certain birds are coming here, and just that balance that we lost. um I hope he gets back, and I hope he gets back, not because we something terrible happened that we have no other option, but
Yeah,
because
exactly.
consciously we choose that. So
Yes.
hopefully,
I agree. Absolutely. Now
yeah,
you have a new certification and I want to dive into this because I find
yes,
this very fascinating. This is, let me know if I'm getting it right, NLP, is that
yes,
correct? Neuro
yeah.
linguistic processing.
From trust, yes, and
Tell us about that.
well, that we've been talking about that all along. I've been talking about it while we have this conversation. But yeah, neurolinguistical programming, and I'm going to make it really simple for you and everybody. Is how our thoughts, our words, and our beliefs and our behaviors create our reality. That's the study of that,
Interesting.
right? So I always said, because for me, poetry has been such a tool to connect with my true self. I always said the stories we tell ourselves and others become our reality. Change your story, change your life. I
Mhm.
think that represents NLP to the T. That is what NLP is. So it's about how we can use our language and our, being aware of our feelings or our habits, our beliefs, realize if they are not true and change them. What we were talking about right
Mhm.
now, going back to basics. It's not about, yes, there's a lot of tools, but all of the tools are about releasing things, not about learning and doing and getting. It's about, let's see what story are we living, right? Is this story true for you right now? And if it's not, let's just get rid of that story and write a new one. And you do that by recognizing where that story comes from. That's why it's very, very
Yes.
connected with authenticity and inner child healing, because where the inner child is who carries all those conditionings. All the conditionings, I'm not enough, I cannot be too loud. If I want to be loved, I need to stay small. Everything is my
Yeah.
fault. Like, that's our inner child carrying all that, right? It's still carrying all that. Why all our personas are like puppeteers of, like, all these identities that we create that is not
Mhm.
us,
Yeah.
but sometimes when we say identity, it's like such a big word that we think that's something that cannot change. But you can create a new identity tomorrow,
Mhm.
you know you just have to let go of the
That's
things
very true.
that you thought they kept you safe,
Yeah.
you know
That's
so
very true.
that's what NLP is about. And this the presupposition of NLP, and one of my favorites is like the map is not the territory. That's like the first one, which means like you look at a map, I look at the map, but that's not my it's not my territory, right? My what I see in something is not what you see. We have our own world, and we look at things, people, circumstances through the map of our world, the map that we carry. So that's why there is so much friction, because we assume that everybody should think like that, like us, that this is
Yes.
obvious. This is like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Because even situations or things that people will do that we think is evil or this and that, NLP also tells you that behind every behavior, there is a positive intention. And this
Mm.
is very hard to process, especially with trauma and things like that. But we don't know what that world inside that person was like, that the intention thought that they thought that it was a good thing, so it's just really, it's hard to grasp. But when you realize that your reality is nobody else's reality, and then you get curious about why you see things like you see, why you do things like you do, then you can start to find the balance and more compassion towards others. And then you also start realizing that a lot of things are not your fault. It's just because
Yeah.
of their own condition, their story. So NLP is really good for that. Another principle of NLP is that we have all the resources that we need within us,
Mm-hmm.
you know and the excellence that we see in others we carry ourselves. And that one was hard for me to grasp, right? When you see
Say that again.
the excellence that we see in others, we carry ourselves. We have it,
Wow.
right? We just need to dust off all the other things that they
Mm.
were told to us. All the fear, the
Yeah.
insecurities,
Yeah.
all the lies and the stories. But it's there. Now we're doing a project in modeling, which is the difference that makes a difference, right? So, for example, instead of me being like, oh my God, uh, I'm just, I just cannot, I don't know why I'm so awful. I cannot do it live. I cannot do it live. I just get nervous. I'm awful about this.
Mm.
And then I see Lisa. How can she even do that? And she just showed, So instead of being like, I am bad, I'm not as good as Lisa because I cannot do what she does, it's about what is she doing differently,
Mm-hmm.
right? So instead of bullying myself, modeling is asking questions and finding out what gives you the confidence. What do you feel when you do your podcast, right? What
Yeah.
story are you telling yourself? And then model that for ourselves because we all have the same resources, right?
Yes.
But modeling,
Yes.
it just help us. I mean, some of these tools are all incredible and they are all just going back to your essence, to who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sitting with that for a while and thinking that over. That concept really challenges those old core beliefs that tell me that I'm not as good as, I am
Mhm.
less than. I do not have, I have low self-worth or low self-esteem or, and all of those things that come along with, for me, post-trauma and mental health issues that grew out of that. And those core beliefs, because that's what was being, those are the things in the messaging that was being reinforced in me.
Yeah. Yeah. But once
It's it's kind of a whole flip-flop situation to think about that differently. But but I do know that those old messages aren't the truth. I know that they're not the truth, and I try to not listen to them, and I'm trying to turn that around and doing work to come against them. And this is a really interesting way to flip that script, that
yeah,
the excellence that I notice in someone else is something I already possess.
yeah, because we are mirrors of each other at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. That's really, really interesting. Drummond is asking, do you have a favorite NLP exercise?
Well, modeling, I love, right? Just,
Hmm.
when there is something that I feel like I cannot do and someone else is doing it, just to ask questions and figure it out, how they got to feel that way, who was around, what they were doing, what happened before, what is the feeling after all that, and then just modeling that I love. Um, which other exercise? Well, we do work with like inner child healing, just having a picture of ourselves when we start putting ourselves to look at a picture of when we're young and just looking into our eyes and be like, what did you need? Like, why do I feel this way? Is it something that you need that I can give you so we can feel better? That's,
Yeah.
something that's amazing. Well, oh my gosh, there is so many. Timeline exercise, right? Just like, you are dealing with certain challenge and then just like start zooming out and seeing like, what happened, going back 10, 20, whatever years, what happened then that will make sense of what is happening now. And then, creating the new story. But NLP, the whole concept is really simple. It's about see what is the story. That's it. Like, I mean, the questions from NLP, the clean questions for me are the most powerful tool, right? Because start asking yourself, where does this come from? How old am I when I'm acting this way? When was the first
Mm,
time you felt that way? That just brings so much clarity, right? Because that's like,
yes.
whatever you needed when you were a child. That's why, I mean, NLP and inner child healing are so connected. I'm just so happy that I was able to find and create that connection. Um, because now we can give ourselves, instead of blaming our father, our mother, our story, how can I give myself what I needed as a child? How can I give that child that now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why
Because we
not?
can.
Yes,
It's not a hopeless lost situation.
yes,
We can.
yes.
And that changes everything.
Yeah, that changes everything. So yes, I am super excited and I cannot wait to start incorporating more in everything. I have another workshop coming up, which I
You
hope you're
do.
coming.
Yay! June
Yes.
20th. I'm going to finalize my registration for that today. You guys, you need to come to Lorena's Inner Child workshop, poetry workshop.
Yes,
It's
yes. It's
changed
June
my life.
20th.
It is mind blowing. It was for me,
Mm.
and it has started a whole new project for me. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited to come back and to dive in a little deeper and do some more work and see what
Yes,
else little Lisa has to say to me. So they can find that link in your bio, right?
yes. You can find the link in my bio. I'm going to put it in my stories. Also, I think I send you all the links, so I think that
Yes.
you can put the link
Yeah.
there. You can put it in your stories, or you
Yeah.
can definitely DM me, life coach underscore Lorena Garfi, and I
Yeah.
will send all the details. I will answer questions. I am super, super excited about coming together again in this space, and Spencer and Leah, and I hope to see
Yeah.
everyone there. And yes, please remember to go to Lisa's stories or to my Instagram, and I make sure that you get the link, and I will answer all the questions as well.
Absolutely. That's good. I did get that from you. I haven't had a chance to put it up yet, but
Yes,
I will as
yes,
soon as we're done. This reel
yes,
is going to
perfect.
get posted too, so you can refer back to it if you want to. Send it to
Yes.
someone who you think might benefit from this conversation.
Yes.
Spencer says, yes, release our inner child to be the child and know that it's safe for them to be a child and trust that adult us is capable of looking out for all of us, all of the inner children parts.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And yet, I was thinking, I was writing the other day, and I was like, authenticity really is when our inner child and our adult self stop fighting with each other,
Yeah.
and they put together the wisdom and the wonder, right? And they become whole. Isn't that just such a
Yeah.
simple way? Right? It is like that. I mean, it looks complicated to go back and to do the work, but once we get it, when we keep practicing, when we ask questions, healing is definitely possible. It's unavoidable if you keep doing
It
the work,
is.
really.
I love
Yeah.
that. It can become unavoidable. And the
Yes.
thing is, when we use phrases like "we're doing the work," sometimes that can sound heavy and deep
Mhm.
and dark, and it doesn't have to be.
No.
You
Well,
can do it in tiny baby steps, and you're, as long as you're headed in the same general direction that you want to go, you're making progress. That's great, because
yes.
those baby steps, those little tiny micro shifts, those tiny moments throughout our days stack up, and they result
Yes.
in very real lasting change.
Yes, you can definitely change the perspective. Like every time you get triggered, instead of being like, be like, oh, what do I have here to learn? Okay, what tool I'm going to
Yeah.
use? What questions I want to ask myself? Where is this coming from? So instead of being like a pain and suffering, it's like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to learn something, and
Yeah.
and then just to move up a step. When we start seeing our challenges as opportunities and lessons, uh, it's really not work. It's just what we do. It's like play. It's like, the little steps that we take to connect with ourselves, and to love ourselves a little more every day, because we are lovable. We are love. We are perfect and beautiful. We just have to remove all the lies that we've been carrying for so long. It's like we have this backpack. Every time someone told us and judged us negatively, we put a rock in our backpack, and then we're like, just
Mhm.
no, just why? I don't need this anymore. I'm not five. I know who I am right now. So just drop the bag, and just find freedom.
Yeah. We can
Yeah.
choose to do it differently, and then we train our brain what is important to look at and to capture and to hold now.
Yes. Yes, we make space. We make space
Hmm.
for what the universe has to give us.
Yeah.
When we have that window, that mirror so crowded that we cannot see what are all the possibilities that we have. When we just clean up the channel, then we start noticing things that they are for us, and little serendipities, and then like Lisa said, we start being aligned with ourselves and open and to receive, to be a channel of anything that is for us to gift the world, because we all have a gift, and it's our responsibility to share it.
Absolutely. And you did that so brilliantly and beautifully with our community today. Thank you so
Oh,
much, Lorena. You
thank
guys,
you.
don't forget about the Inner Child Workshop that Lorena is running June
Yes.
20th. Don't miss it.
It's
Um,
virtual.
yeah, it's virtual, so it's on Zoom, and
Yes.
I'll be there. A bunch of us will be there. You'll be in good company,
Yes.
and dive into your next steps, into your next level of healing. It'll be great. It goes
Yes.
from 11 to 1:30, right? Is that
From, yes, 11 to
Central Time?
1:30.
No, Eastern
First
Time.
of Eastern time. And
Okay.
we're going to use so much creativity. We're going to have, first of all, the community is going to be so amazing and fantastic. Everyone that always shows up is just like so uplifting and vulnerable and courageous. And we're going to have guided meditations and visualizations. And we're going to play with music. And we're going to have poetry, my goodness. And by the way, when I say poetry, don't get intimidated, because you do not have to be a writer. Poetry, like I always said, could be like a doodle, whatever poetry is for
Yeah.
you. But we're just going to open the window of our subconscious, and we're going to let our inner child do the talking and the playing. And when you come out of that workshop, you are just going to be so happy, and you're going to be transformed. You're going
I
to be
believe it.
transformed.
Worked for me.
Yes,
And I
thank
can't
you.
wait to do it again. Thank you
Thank
for these
you. Of
opportunities. Thank you
course.
for creating this
Thank you.
beautiful opportunity for everybody to come and benefit from this.
Yes,
It's
thank you.
wonderful. Watch the stories. Links don't work live on Instagram anymore, so but that's okay. We'll figure that out.
Just go
It'll
to my
be
Instagram. Go to my
yeah,
Instagram, DM me,
yeah.
and I take care of everything else. Just
Yeah,
say, hey, I want to
the links
go.
work in the link trees. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Do that. I will see you there. That sounds wonderful. Thanks everybody for joining us for another Lattes with Lisa. We have one more before I'm taking a break for the summer. It's actually going to be in 3 weeks, unless something happens and I decide to pop on and do a solo in between. My next scheduled guest is called Christina Braze, and she wrote her memoir called Sold. She's going to be coming and joining me on the 30th to talk about her book, to talk about her crowdfunder, to talk about just the incredible, devastating effects of trafficking. She was sold by her father over and over again within their church community. The layers of trauma around this are very deep to my heart. As you know, I wrote my book, The Ninth Child, about my experience of religious abuse, child sexual abuse, all the things
Yeah.
made much more difficult, raised in religion. When you're raised in high control religion and all those things are happening, it becomes very enmeshed with faith and spirituality. And Christine is doing the work to pick all of that apart, just like I've been doing. You're gonna want to meet her. She's pretty incredible, and I'm very excited because I got to meet her in person. She's local to me right here in Calgary, so you can find her at a_path_forward, and you can follow her stories, and the content she's putting out right now is very, very meaningful and things that we all need to be aware of. So come back for that one, and in the meantime, enjoy these early days of summer, and I'll see you at the Inner Child Workshop on June 20th.
I can't wait. Thank
Yeah.
you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for coming to Lattes with Lisa. My latte is done, so I'm done too.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.